Sunday, October 8th, 2017, winds were unusually powerful all over Northern California, but no one could predict the sort of death and destruction that would befall Napa and Sonoma counties.
When I went to bed the Sunday night before the fire, I saw a fire, but it was far away. It never occurred to any of us, I think, the night before, that that fire was going to be so serious that it would close schools.
The fires that night didn't just close schools. 8 in the Santa Rosa area were heavily damaged or destroyed. Getting those schools reopened or replaced as quickly as possible is a priority, says Sonoma County Superintendent Stephen Harrington, who's dealt with more than one disaster through the years.
The more schools we could open, we would create a greater sense of normalcy. And for children, normalcy is very important. So our goal was, and I learned that from the floods and I'd learned that from the earthquake, you need to create an environment of safety, an environment of normalcy.
Though no schools in Napa County were damaged by fire, schools were closed for 2 weeks because air quality was so poor. In Sonoma County, it wasn't just losing 2 weeks of teaching and learning. An estimated 1,500 public school students lost homes, so did nearly 400 teachers. Well, more than 1,000 students have been relocated to new campuses, like the 430 students who attend Roseland Collegiate Prep.
You guys are the ones who are going to bring this place to life. Okay, so when you see the purple on the walls, ignore that. Look at each other, right? Remember that you guys are what makes us come here every day, okay? And that's what's going to keep us coming.
There's a good reason for that little pep talk from English teacher Tomas Salinas. These students from Roseland experienced perhaps the most disruption in Sonoma County. Their school is heavily damaged, so they first relocated to 2 different elementary schools in Santa Rosa that had space. Then they relocated to this high school building when it became available. Roseland kids have dealt with a lot of change this school year.
To get them back in the groove of school took a little longer because they had 2 things they were really focusing on: a new environment and I just lost a home or I just lost my school.
Roseland principal Danielle Yount is racing to keep up too. In addition to unpacking and setting up yet another office, she was looking forward to some fresh paint. Purple is the previous tenant's school color. Roseland has something a bit lighter.
Yeah, they're green and blue, and we're living in purple right now. Yeah, so we're hoping to get some paint on the walls maybe over winter break, so when they come back for their semester 2, it's like a nice fresh start.
Because it's become more common for California administrators to deal with disasters, superintendents aren't just sharing information on curriculum, test scores, and budgets. They're sharing tips on disaster recovery.
This is how you do your FEMA forms. This is how you do all of that. So because it's just becoming, well, it's becoming a new commonplace situation for us. We just kept taking notes as a protocol and then basically have shared that information to the next county that has experienced the fire.
Not long after Dr. Harrington was dealing with fires in his region, he was on the phone with educators in Santa Barbara who were reeling from the monstrous Thomas fire.
We put people who could help each other in contact with each other immediately. So for example, we were able to put Sonoma County Superintendent Steve Harrington in contact with Santa Barbara County Superintendent Susan Salcido so that they could learn from each other on a peer-to-peer, because we know that that's one way that people learn very effectively, is learning from their peers.
Glenn Price is the Chief Deputy Superintendent for the State Department of Education. He says every school in California is required to develop safety plans that instruct staff and students how to respond when a disaster or emergency arrives. Napa Superintendent Barbara Nemko showed us the colorful and extensive plan that's supposed to be posted in every classroom in her county.
If you look at it, it covers duck and cover, shelter in place. It covers lockdown, off-site evacuations. It covers animal disturbance. Bet you hadn't thought about that one. Biological or chemical release, bomb threat, earthquake, explosion or risk of explosion, fire, flooding, pandemic, flu. So yes, teachers know what to do, schools know what to do, and we're pretty good at following this. We train people in it.
Surviving one of those disasters and reopening a school can happen in weeks, but Glenn Price says because schools and surrounding neighborhoods can be so heavily damaged, complete recovery can take a very long time.
Don't think this is going to turn around for you in the next 3 to 6 months. you're going to be looking at a place where you're getting back your students and your families over a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year period.
There's also the issue of missed class time. Teachers and their students are scrambling to make up for lost instruction.
Math is something, you just have to, it's like a sport. You just have to keep practicing, and they get out of practice, and it takes a few days just to get them back to where we left.
Wendy Momsen says by summer, she and her students will be caught up. It'll be much longer for her life away from school to be back to normal. This was her Santa Rosa house. She's one of those nearly 400 teachers who also lost their homes to the fires. I'm
fortunate to have a wonderful fiance and children and family. And so, we're pretty tight group. And so we kind of are just getting through it together.
Experts say this, unfortunately, may be the new normal in California, preparing for and getting through some sort of disaster. Principal Yount needs just 3 words to sum up what might be the best approach.
Patience, understanding, and flexibility.
Just like schools, families should prepare for emergencies. Experts recommend signing up for communication notifications from your child's school and ensure that emergency contacts are up to date. Prepare a disaster preparedness kit at home with items such as personal documents, first aid supplies, flashlights, blankets, and water.